Goldenberg, and I've been 9 weeks, right? How long have I been going to the? Oh, it's 12. So yeah, so for the past 12 weeks, I've been learning about Raspberry Pi, and more specifically, learning about a type of programming system on the Raspberry Pi. A little background: the Raspberry Pi is an open-based operating system based in the UK. That, unlike Mac operating system or OS, you can edit it in a way, so kind of customize it. It's like open-based is preferred by hackers and programmers and people who, it's a lot easier for programming, let's just put it that way. But the Raspberry Pi comes with a programming system that you can download, not on the Raspberry Pi, you can just get it, like download off the internet. It's called Idle, and you can program, it's a programming place, and I'm just gonna show you guys what programming looks like inside of Idle. So, I wanted to buy one once I heard about these. They're pretty cheap for how good they are. They're like only $20, and you just hook them out to a monitor, and they're very fun. So this is what it looks like. I programmed, as you can see at the title up here, Pong. I love Idle because it is color-coded. It has red is ignored by the code. It is color-coded everything. So this is ignored by the code. It is commentaries. And green is saying kind of like, look over here, it's broadcasting something. It is a something. It's kind of like a creation, like a class, defining something, global, if statements, stuff like that. Green is if you want something to be printed on the screen, you put it in parentheses, or if you want to specify something like a certain key or a color, you put it in parentheses. Now I'm just going to go show you guys before I tell you guys what the program is, I'm going to show you guys what it does. And just start it. That did not happen before. Oh. Why is that a syntax error? It's a commenting. I just need to put 2.
Was it a comment? Did you have to close it?
No, you don't have to close commentaries.
Let's see. Click that.
Why is it?
Let's see.
Commentaries are supposed to.
More bind
Maybe if I just do that.
Dash.
Maybe on.
No.
I'm just gonna delete that. That's not supposed to happen. So that's actually, it's something you call commentary. If it's in red, it is ignored by the code. It's, whoops, it's put where it is to, I can just delete this while I'm at it, because it doesn't do anything. It's put there so when you read back on it, or somebody that doesn't know what this program is, so let's say you don't know what this is, you can just read right here. It says key bindings to the paddle moving left and right. So now hopefully this will work. Some weird reason. Okay, here we go.
Oh, it's running now.
There we go. There was a shortage of time, which you'll find with the Lone projects, that's a power up, that purple ball. Oh, okay, it just stopped. And then you click R to restart. And I didn't have enough time to program something that has a reaction to the ball, so sadly I couldn't make the power up go somewhere else, so that's kind of useless, but I got to draw it. That's about all I got to do with it, because I had to fix bugs with it, and just click R, and you use these arrow keys to move, and if you hold down R, I like that the ball goes, because it keeps on making a random location for the ball, for this power up. So you end up setting random locations, and it's really funny. I think it's really funny. It's just like spasming. So there you go. Don't clap yet. It's not done. We're not done. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm gonna read you guys the code. So here we are importing. Importing something is, let's say you're gonna use something called time.sleep, which is waiting a certain increment of time. You have to import that before you use it because you need to say, hey, I'm using it before, so it can say, okay, I'm ready to use it. So this is the importing. This is the outcome of hitting restart. It's really weird. I don't get it why something can be put one place and then like the other part, so the restart down there, and then it like followed by the one line of code stopping it from doing that thing I did while holding down restart without me clicking it is, and then restart down here. And I don't understand that.
Same one.
What?
It's the same way.
Yeah, but why is it different places? It's like you have two parts, so when you're programming something, you have to, and you change one thing, you have to go all the way down, and I don't get it, but does it have to be in a certain order sometimes? Or can you just...
There's the standard where we want to have our declarations on top.
Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense. So this is the one line of code stopping you from doing that while holding R and just spasming out. This is the title at the top, Not So Ultra Pong. I called it Not So. I added that at the very end, Not So Ultra, because it would have been Ultra Pong if I added like super power-ups and music, but I didn't get to. I ran out of time. And here are the Windows specs on like the different things. So it's resizable by that much. 0 is so resizable. No, it's not. You can't resize the window. And this is just saying the borders. It is 500 width, 400 height, and the depth 0. The thickness of the highlight is 0 because we didn't use them. And this is the key binding. So restart. Now I clicked R. This is here. Key press R equals like reset. And then it says the background equals black. And this is the pack of the canvas, which is all this, and then updates the canvas. And if you've ever played a video game that's interactive, which is most video games, there's items. So let's say you pick up like this thing right here, and then you can like turn it on, you can throw it, and there's different interactions and actions you can do with it. So you have to write those in code. So you have here the power up class, which you saw on the screen. It's purple. So it's def init self canvas. You say init with 2 underscores, so it reads it first, and you can't mix it with anything else too. So if you guys ever put anything in alphabetical order on like a doc format or anything, punctuations and numbers, but it's punctuations, then numbers 1 through then 0, or is it 0 through 9, or is it just 1 through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? I don't know, but
I think 0 through 9.
yeah, 0 through 9. So and then that's the order, and then it's A through Z. So having 2 underscores, which is the first thing, that's what it reads first, because it reads things. It doesn't read everything in alphabetical order, but that's one thing. It reads it first. It knows that's it, and you can't. Because it's important and you can't mix it up. It's right there. So it says it defines some things you need that I use. So I use actions self, canvas, ball, and color. So here we find canvas, self.canvas equals canvas. So it's just saying it's on the canvas, and that canvas basically. And then X and Y are random from 500 to 300. So as your name is Kevin, right?
Yeah, Kevin.
Yes, Kevin. So, as you talked about earlier about X and Y, X is this, Y is this when you're using a 2-dimensional coordinate plane, not that awesome 3D coordinate plane, just boring 2-dimensional coordinate plane. And you have it like this, so it's Y and X. I almost said Z.
Flat.
Yeah, it's flat, but on paper you usually look at it like from the top. So you have, but on the screen it's like this. So this is the Y, this is the X. If this was the window, this is the window, but this is the Y, this is the X. So it's saying, let's just say that's 300 and that's 500. It says anything inside, random. So it can be here, here. That's why when I held it down, it was spazzing because it kept on making random locations from 300 to 500. So just random, like, okay, here's a new location with a different X, a different Y. And it kept on doing that. So here's it's just saying get random location. And self-taught, you're gonna create. This is actually drawing it. So here, canvas, which is the canvas is the background, and it's dot create, and it makes an oval. It's not a circle. You always say oval because if you make oval with all same things, like an oval with the height 30 and the width 30 is a circle. So you just write oval. Same thing with a square. In this, you just write rectangle anyways. So you have the x and the y, and then you have x plus 30, y plus 30. That stops the ball from being really long or really tall, which is a problem we encountered. I'll talk later. And then fill equals, and then the color, purple. And then we have what happens if the ball hits it. This is actually not finished. It was not completed. As I said, I ran out of time. There's some things I was in the middle of. And I have a bad habit of starting, like I'm reading 5 books right now. And I'm like one chapter into each of them, and then I'll read a chapter of both. So it's like a 3D printer. How you print the entire first layer, and then you make one more. And that's what I did with this. I kept on doing one line for like the entire thing. So some of them were too long to finish. That's kind of what it was. It's like I do one entire thing, and I ended up doing that. So you have 45 seconds to spell out the alphabet, but you only get to like W. So you have a couple things missing, and that's kind of. So I'm kind of embarrassed about that because it's not. It's kind of like it's just boring Pong now. There's nothing special about it. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so then we have hitting the position. So just ignore that, please. And this is drawing it again. It's like a random size, and this is just drawing it again. You need to draw it both places. And this is creating it again. That was supposed to be part of this, but it kind of failed in a tiny way. And this is the code for the ball. So here, as we see, we use self, canvas, paddle, color. Paddle because the paddle is, well, paddle from Pong. And so here we have the ball. And what it does to itself, so the canvas, it's on the canvas. It's kind of recognizing the paddle. You're creating the ball. You're saying you can move the ball. And these are the starting angles because who's thrown a ball at a wall? Like it could be like a tennis ball, like or just. Have you ever seen a ball hit a wall before? If you threw a ball straight on the wall, it would bounce straight back with some downward. But since this is zero gravity, it would just go like this and bounce off. If you dropped it here, it would just kind of stop like that. And if you hit it with kind of a backspin, it would do this and it would kind of slow down. So I made startings. So instead of it just going like this, or oh my, I just realized I haven't picked up the microphone. I'm sorry. So instead of just doing this or this, just this, you can do this, and it makes variety instead of it being easily predictable. Because if you send a ball on a 45-degree angle path, you could predict. It's really easy to predict. And I actually saw a video of somebody who did that, and it had a traced path. They actually made a really cool pattern, so it is predictable. But if you make different starts, it will be more random, and you can't really predict it. So I liked it, and that's one of my favorite parts because if you hit the ball right, it'll just kind of hit the ball and go faster. And this is randomly shuffling them. It's just shuffling those so it's not like 1, 2, 3.
What does it mean by shuffling? Like, do you shuffle where it
starts?
starts?
You know what shuffling cards is?
Yeah.
So it's shuffling. It takes these. So the computer in a way is just taking 6 cards. One that says -3, one that says -2, one that says -1, one that says 1, one that says 2, one that says 3, and shuffling them. Then choosing the top card, and then using that one, bouncing it like this. Let's just say it just chose -2, and that's this. And there's not really. I'm not actually trying to do a different one, but and then it bounces and it hits another one. So you shuffle again, take out a new one, and it's different. So if it's random, it does mean one can repeat, but it also means it's more likely since there's more for it to do something else. But it's completely random, so anything's possible. And here's it's just talking about the starts still. we have the height and the width of the boundaries, just so to know that when the ball hits those boundaries, that it has to bounce, and that's how. And this is the outcome of the ball hitting the boundaries. It's moving itself and it's moving its chords. This is the movements of the canvas. The ball's on the canvas, and it has to move the ball. And you have all these starts, and basically how they work by changing their X a little bit. And we have
Not the bottom thing that the ball came in and bounced off.
it can't bounce off the bottom. I said that's why it says hit bottom equals false, and if it's true, the program will stop. And if you click R, it will restart. So it's fine because it actually would work. It would bounce off the bottom if we updated the canvas. That would say kind of refresh and say hey. So, but since we don't update the canvas, it stops it. So kind of what the start is doing is updating the canvas and saying, okay, let's just restart it. Then we have here the outcomes of hitting the paddle and the ball hitting the paddle. And I just copy and pasted the starts because that's what you're supposed to do. Because it's the same thing up here if you look. Because you're just saying again. Because you can't just say, hey, remember what I said up there? Code keeps on reading downward, so you have to remind it. So, and this is the paddle, and I use the color of the paddle, canvas on the background, and self. So,
Wait,
like
is
this.
that paddle the thing that was moving?
Yes. You wait questions to the end though, please. All right. So you've seen this on every single item. This is the class, and then initiation, and it's creating a rectangle. As I said, you can even if it's square, you have to say rectangle. That's how it works. And then moving it, its ID, and self.x equals 0, just putting it at the very middle. And this is its, and then self.canvas, and this is the width of it, which is up here. And then here's the key bindings. So key press left is the left key. Key press right is the right key. And self.canvas bind all. So it's basically binding all of them and just specifying. Self.turn, which is turning it. It's not literally turning it, but it's saying like go this way. So it's turn left for left and turn right for right. And here I just wrote, this won't do anything because it's a comment ignored by the program. That's why when the comment was an error, I was really confused because this is there, it's not doing anything, but that there is doing something. So this is what happens if you hit the left or right key. Turn left, so we said turn left. As you're saying right here, turn left is X equals -5. Negatives go on the left side, so that's why you do it this way. That's why I say negative. And then this for right, because it's the other way. And ignore these two. I was trying to make it so the paddle can move up and down, so I did turn up as self.y, which is, and then doing that, but that's incomplete. And here we draw the paddle moving. As you see, it's the same thing we saw up here, because you need to just say the interactions again, as I said. These are actually supposed to be ignored too. Let's work for these. So, and I'm just gonna show you guys that you can delete this since it's not used, and you can also delete this just to show that it's really not anything. Just delete that. There we go. So those weren't used, so I just would delete them right now. And here's start game. It's broadcasting that what restart is and what speed is. You have the paddle, which is we describe as the color as white, so that's why the paddle is white. And the ball was red, and the paddle was purple. And we're saying if restart equals false, and if hit, and this is the false, then you draw these. Update the tasks, which are the actions of draw, hit paddle, and all that. And then updating the canvas. And then time.sleep equals speed. I made it so the more you hit, it kind of speeds up very gradually though. and restart equals false. Canvas.delete all if it does that, and tk.update. So that's just restarting. That's the restart function at the very bottom. And let's just put our cursor right here. And we see 150 lines of code is how much it is. Exactly 150. Feels so good, just exactly 150 lines. Okay, so I'm gonna play it one more time. Just to show, and I just want to show you guys that that really didn't do anything. So, to prove it, here you go. No syntax, no errors. Yeah. Okay. And see, notice now how you may probably, or maybe you did. Look how the ball, how it bounces differently. See that? How you may notice how that, and then it hits it a little faster. And then just slow down there because of the different hits. And just for fun, that speed goes up gradually. But if you set the speed to 0.0001, oops, you don't do that. Sorry. So you should like enter being like just setting it. Okay. Okay. It goes a lot faster, as you'll see.
There you go.
So it's fun. It's like really fast. It's like really fast. It's like Sonic speed. Ooh. Oh. Whoa. So would anybody like to play it? Okay. You click R to restart. I'll click it, and you can. It's just these. Right?
Okay.
Actually, let me turn down the speed first. Okay, put it as what it usually was. I'm trying to be as fast as possible.
That would make it like an expert level game.
Yeah, it's not expert level. I'll just put this back to speed. Okay to save. And you'll just use those. And just click R if you mess up and it hits the bottom. Blech. Whoa, that's too slow actually.
You're a beginner.
Yeah, I've been playing this ever since I made the code. Whoa. So, just click that. So, I didn't get a program what happens if it hits the power up. As you see, it just passes through. But, well, it's an incomplete project. Earlier today was actually my last day for my 12 weeks.
Same with me.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to actually doing this at home.
Why is it out?
Yeah, that's something, but it's still inside the canvas, so technically it says it's okay. All right, can I close this?
Round of applause for them. Great job, Max.
Thank you. All right. Any questions? Yes.
What would you want the power-up to do?
I wanted the one just to be awesome, make the paddle blue, and I want it to be wider and make it a little wider, and then every power-up you hit makes it a little wider. And well, think about it, if you have a tiny little pinhead, like not the insole pinhead, I mean like a pin, and you have to hit a ball with it, and then you finally somehow hit a power-up, and that turns into like a pencil, and then it turns into like a board. Then it turns into a ladder slide, like a slide, and then it gets bigger and bigger and gets easier, so it rewards you for getting the power-ups. That's what I would have wanted to do. Yes?
What about the y-axis?
Oh, y-axis, I would have added, made it be able to go up and down just to add maybe a more challenge, and maybe go to the bottom if you're trying to play conservative, make sure it doesn't hit it, and maybe go up high if you want to challenge and just try to keep it up high and have some fun. And it would be an easy excuse, and because maybe if you're just too lazy, you can hit 2 birds with 1 stone, make it more awesome, and fix that problem where sometimes, every once in a while, it will be put, the power up, below the paddle. So you just fix that.
What were your your favorite parts of making the game and playing it? And what were your challenging
So
things?
yeah, I was about to go to that, my problems, but My favorite parts are probably setting it super high and just going like super challenging mode. That was really fun. We actually said every millisecond it adds 1 0 to make it even smaller update time to make it go even faster, and it would do that every millisecond, which is 1/100th of a second. Oh, 1,000th. I said that early today. I don't know why I didn't say it today. I don't know. But so it would immediately go really fast. So it went super fast, and it was really funny. That was a problem and a fun part. And another fun part is holding down restart, of course, and seeing the purple ball spaz out. That's always fun. And some problems is the most weird thing that's ever happened to me in Idle. A ball, the power-up, I should say, was blue. And I never programmed it to be blue. There was no word blue in my entire code. I never assigned that color to it. But there it was. It was blue, and I was so confused. And I still remember it. It was the window, and then it was like right there, right next to my paddle. I'm like, what? And I immediately killed the program, and I found nothing. And I still don't know. And some other challenging things are functions, which is an action of function is like an action. Is when you have multiple items, sometimes they can interfere with each other. So you have to there's something called assigning arguments, where you have to give arguments to it. I don't think it's the best term argument for it, but it's basically saying do this, and if this is this, and if this is this, then this, or this. So if you give it too little or too many, you have to either delete some or add some. Sometimes they don't do anything. Sometimes they add something. Sometimes they take away something. And that drove me crazy.
So how many functions did you use in there?
I'll actually count right now. I'm not sure.
Easy or they were hard?
Easy to count them.
Okay, so did your functions have different
Yeah.
parameters, different counts of parameters, or?
Yeah, they had different parameters to them. Like some moved, some didn't move.
Okay.
Power up. Some moved sideways, some moved all ways. And so they're different, but let's just see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 that I counted right now, but it may not seem like some people just think 11, and that's just kind of a low number compared to 1 bazillion jillion. So, but 11. But if you look into 1, let's just say this one, you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, like it's like 7 actions inside 1. So like 11 times 7, that's like 77 different actions. If this one, which is kind of big, so that's at most. And then we have some right here that are a little smaller, like 1, 2. So, but there was actually one with like 13. It was the starting one. It was initiating the ball hit. But so there's a lot of different things, and as I said, that drove me crazy.
Anybody else? Questions?
How would you what would you add on to it if, as you said, 7 weeks or something?
Yeah, it was 7 whole days. I'd add music, I had power-ups, I'd add color selection of your paddle, I'd add a title screen. I think I already said like I'd add a soundtrack. I may have recorded myself saying Max Ultra Pong X or Max Ultra Pong X or something like that. And I would have done a lot more, made it more of a game. You may or may not, probably may not, have heard of something called Pac-Man Championship 10. And it's Pac-Man most of you know what that is. But it's like revved up with like colors and character selections and the ghosts talk, and it's like there's bigger maps and it's like huge and it's like selections and colors and as you know, that's an old school game that came out after Pong, but both are fundamental, influential games that once you think of a good game, if it's the best game in the world, you say this is the best game since Pong. You say that. And this is the best game since Pac-Man. Like, those are the fundamentals. Those are every single person that's like been on a computer and like knows what, when a computer was created, knows what Pong is. Like, it's, if you don't know what Pong is, it's like, you probably have seen some type of, Pong is basically ping pong on a computer. It's two people hitting a ball, but there's no net. So I wanted to, my influence was that game, Pac-Man Championship 10, having an old school game revved up a lot.
One more round of applause. Great job, Max. You impressed. All right, great job. Thank you. Thank you for a wonderful presentation.